following podcast contains mature language and adult discussion.
Kev, they're shooting a movie on my block, right? And they wanted to use houses, right? So we got a letter, can we come in and look at your house? I threw it in the garbage. I need that right now. I need to be put up in a hotel for however the hell long so Anthony Hopkins can run around my house. But they got the house 2 doors down from it. But there's a fair amount of, I guess, exteriors now that are going to be shot. So I'm dealing with the girl from the production unit, the location unit, right? So she's like, just want to talk to you about some stuff we may need. I'm like, really? What would that be that you need from me? Well, the driveway.
Cup of sugar?
Driveway would have to be clear. I wish. Driveway would have to be clear for continuity. Cars on the street couldn't be yours for continuity. And that's okay, what else? She's like, well, we'll just dress some of your house if that's okay. Oh, you're going to dress the front of my house. We're going to put some garbage out in front because it's going to be like a garbage collection morning scene. Oh, okay. And I'm flying. I'm leaving for Sacramento. So I'm not going to be here to move my cars for them when they need this. So I said, well, so what do you want me to do? She's like, well, you can leave me your keys. And I'll move your cars around. See, down the street from me by the stadium, there's a stadium on the waterfront there. And she said, well, we'll just move them. We're going to get permission from the city to park them down on the water there by the stadium. I said, all right. I said, well, that's fine. I said, but you're taking full responsibility for the 3 kilos of coke I have in the trunk. And whatever happens, happens. You have the keys. So I've been dealing with this all day on top of making flight arrangements for tomorrow morning. This is very stressful. I don't enjoy travel like you do.
Oh, dude, I hate travel.
I know.
Jesus, man.
Now you're throwing in a production and moving the cars, and I have to give someone the cars for 4 days while I'm away.
See, I would just say no.
Well, I said, what do you make who are you making the check out to? Do you want the LLC name or do you want my name? So she said, well, we'll take your name. I said, okay. So.
Is it worth it?
I'm going to be away. $500 to play with my car for a few days while I'm away.
Like that. I would just say, nope, shoot. You're going to have to just not be able to shoot that way. Sorry.
Well, the first text I sent back, I was so Kevin Nash about it. This is good. I got to stop hanging out with you. So they grab my wife's on her way to work. So they grab her at 7:00 in the morning out front. Hi, I'm Vanessa. Met your husband the other day. He hasn't been texting me back. We're going to need the front, blah, blah, blah. So she gets the whole thing. Her whole thing was, you're going to put garbage in front of my house and film it? You're going to make my house look like a slum now? I didn't care about that. But so I text her back when she reaches out with the, hey, talk to your wife, whatever. I said, gig on the West Coast till Monday, red eye back Monday morning. Won't be in your way. You can have the DP frame around my driveway. Very Nash of me. But then we talked and I gave her the keys and he doesn't have to shoot my fucking driveway. She's like, well, the scene's like on the corner right across from your house, so it's going to be in the shot. Whatever. Worst thing about the whole thing, Kevin, the travel, the weekend, not going to be able to watch Collision on Saturday night.
Oh, man, I'll DVR and give you a rundown.
Would you let me know what happened? You filled me in a little bit about this past Saturday, so much so that I sought it out and watched it.
Did you watch the Kingston match?
I did. I watched Eddie Kingston versus Bryan Keith. That's the bounty hunter, I believe, Bryan Keith.
Yep.
who is now.
I've never heard of Bryan Keith.
Oh, you will, because he's AEW Elite now.
I know. Well,
They made that decision on the spot, but had some art.
That was the crazy thing. That was kabuki-ish. How they had the match, and it was a dogfight.
Mm-hmm.
Kingston went over, and he beat the unknown guy. And right there, Tony Schiavone just anointed the bounty hunter. Boom.
More than that, he taught me something about a maroon jacket, gray pants, and rubber-soled sneakers together.
Yeah.
I learned something about
a look.
Yeah.
That's a look.
But the match itself was a brawling type match, but some like enziguris and some excitement.
I like Kingston's. I like his selling. I like his registering.
I'm a Kingston fan. I mean, I always dug him when I saw him.
I've never not liked him.
Yeah.
I've always I thought early this guy was that he was working with was nervous.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Eddie was having to pull this match out of him. I thought one of my favorites were they battled down to the knees, and the guy gives Kingston they do the headbutt spot. Yeah, they do the headbutt spot. And then Kingston just open hand. He does the I'm not selling the headbutt, and then Kingston just open hand smacks the dog shit out of him. So I thought that was.
Which did you enjoy more, the machine gun chops, or the bitch slaps? The fucking finish was a slap.
Yeah.
Are they calling it a chop? Because I think it was a slap, right?
I just, I got
those rapid fire chops. I'm talking in the corner.
I was accused of having 5 moves. I think there was 3 in this match. So, I guess in today's modern AEW, I'd be Burton Gagne. So,
ladies and gentlemen, here with the Carl Gotch of the '90s, Kevin Nash. I thought the best part was
I could break pliers with my hand.
I told you what Harley did, right? With the bottle cap, he folded a bottle cap in half like a clamshell. With
Harley was
pinky. It was ridiculous.
I'll guarantee you, if you peeled Harley's skin off him, he was a Terminator underneath there.
There's a Borg Genesis living under the
absolutely.
The
he was Borg Genesis. He got some shit in the military, probably like the first. He was after Captain America got whatever he got to be a super soldier. The next Borg Genesis was Harley.
He was Borg Genesis before Borg Genesis was MAGA.
Exactly.
Methinks. But what I thought the best part of the whole thing, what the Kingston Bryan Keith thing was, Eddie on the mic at the end when Schiavone goes to try to interview him. I forget what he said first. He goes, and the crowd laughed. He goes, "There, you're finally over, Schiavone. Go talk to Bryan."
No, he says to me. He says something to me. You guys had a slugfest or whatever. He goes, great observation,
Captain
Mr.
Obvious, right?
Captain Obvious. Yeah.
He goes, "Look, listen to the crowd. You're finally over.
You're finally over."
It's great. Did you happen to catch on the same broadcast? Hook was victorious in a 2-on-1 against the Outrunners.
They look like those twin brothers that were at WCW in the 90s.
The Harris twins? Who are you talking about?
They were. God, I can't remember. Steve, do you remember those twin brothers?
You're looking at Truth and Turbo, I believe, right here.
These guys are fucking. I tell you right now, you can ask them a lot of things, but the thing they really want to know is, what do you bench?
So
spending some time in the tanning bed. They got I mean,
they were ready for their television appearance.
yeah.
They're OVW guys, but here's the thing, and I hate to go to size because size isn't always a relevant thing in wrestling. You've had smaller guys and bigger guys, and the smaller guys, because their talent, they were able to use the size and their identity as a smaller guy. And I don't mean the height, 5 foot, 6 foot, whatever. Like when X-Pac started, he was so thin. He looked so young and he looked so thin. So he had that natural like underdog thing. But the fucking guy flew all over the goddamn arena. He's spin kicks, aerial. Like he used his size to his advantage. But I'm watching Hook do the flying double clothesline, catches them with the wrist. You know, the full sell. There was a back body drop at some point that almost killed. I don't know if it was. It was right before that, Steve. If you want to go back,
that's a hell of a. There's an art to take it.
Here, this here nearly landed on his head. And listen, it all boils down to just. I could sit here and try to microanalyze why this didn't work for me. It was not for 1 second believable.
No, it looked
not for a second.
It actually looked like the only thing missing was the cast of Always Sunny in the crowd watching this. That was the only thing. But
I'm a DeVito fan.
When you when the referee is like he's a tiny little guy, man.
And he's not using himself to that advantage. If he uses the size, if the David beats the Goliath because of his size, that's one thing. But the fucking power moves should not be happening. And there's just an unseasoned thing to the whole match. It wasn't believable. And we know who he is, and he's Taz's son. And I just wonder if that wasn't the case, if we would have watched that Saturday night. And I think we all know we wouldn't have. Probably a nice guy, and I mean, there's probably some indie.
Oh, I think that I just think
probably learn. He's young.
He got moved up too fast.
Too fast, right? Too fast.
He should be in Ohio Valley.
Heading out to everyone listening.
Should be down there with Al Snow and crew.
AEW's height limit.
Because he'd be Cal Hero would be a good kid for him to work with.
But those were the only 2 matches I caught. Kevin, did you watch the rest of the broadcast? I
watched a little bit of Daniels that followed to Kingston.
Oh, that's right. It was that. And what's that guy's name? It's that. I'm gonna forget the name.
It starts with M.
Starts with M.
Yeah, another.
It wasn't the word memorable. Clearly,
another anime character came down. But.
The Double Dragon video game.
They did like the different versions of the surfboard. But Tamara was down there and she was reading, and she looked over at me and she was just like, it's almost like if Abyss's kid was a luchador, but like she just looked over at me like, you're fucking shitting me, right? Like, this is not what's going to be on the television.
While I'm down here trying to enjoy my evening.
Yeah, it just the fact that I'm even, because I had the sound way down, and she was just like, "Nah, this is not what we're doing."
I'm looking at some of the clips here. I'm looking at a highly technical match. I might see a little chain wrestling happening here. What am I looking at?
He was actually, I mean,
encounter?
He's actually. Because I guess he's a luchador, like a shoot luchador, because he's got that luchador build, that Mil Mascaras kind of a build to him.
A little thick, though. A little thicker.
That's what I mean.
He could do some power shit, right?
Got some traps to him.
I'll watch that. It looks interesting.
Yeah.
They're keeping it on the ground a little bit, taking their time. I like
Daniels
Bryan too. So
Bryan's, yeah, he's really talented.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, and that's the difference between a guy that's not a big guy, but everything he does, it makes, he's not going to overpower anybody. He's gonna he's gonna do what he should do. He's gonna out wrestle him, and that's kind of the psychology of what that you know. Even though both of them are, here we go, we go into this. And he comes out of it and quickly reverses it, and boom, he's right. I like how they smack him.
I wouldn't let him do it.
They
Bryan.
smack him on. No, they smack you on the
smack
sides.
Him on the sides, yeah.
Yes, you feed your arms.
That love handle gimmick there. All right, I will check that out.
All right.
Give you some feedback. Speaking of feedback, Hawaiian Times has written in, when you're straight edge like Punk, it takes way longer to recover, and at Punk's age, almost impossible with the type of work he does. So this is interesting. This plays into the injury we were talking about last week a little bit. What can you tell me about this with your talk, your seemingly endless talk about health, the body, science?
As far as him coming back,
recovery. Well, I mean, age has to factor in, right? So
he's 46.
Yeah, it's probably something around there.
So, I mean, I don't know where. I'm sure it came off at the elbow. Depends on how the degree of the tear. They just drilled a hole and wove it through and put it on a screw. It just depends on the tear, how it was reattached.
When you tore yours, what was the science behind? How was that reattached?
They drilled a hole and put it through.
Okay. And the fucking arm. That's got to be the worst injury. You need it for everything in the ring. There's nothing you can do to hide to work around that.
Right.
You need your arms for everything.
It's crazy too. Is like, because I didn't take hardly any time off, and
what year was that?
I was a champ.
So 95.
94, 95.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, I was the champ. So I mean, it was just like, fuck, I couldn't take time off. We had
you were obviously told this was against doctor's orders, right? Obviously, to go back.
So I went to, we were on USA then, and I went to a thing with Vince, and Medusa went with us. It was me, Medusa, and Vince, and I had a brown and black kind of checkered sports coat on with a pair of black pants and a black shirt. And it was numb as fuck, my arm was numb, and I went and used the restroom, and the guy next to me goes, "You all right, bro?" I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Your hand." I looked down on the side of my hand, was just fucking, like from here over was just blood, like dripping. And I looked at my jacket was saturated with blood. So I'm like, oh, fuck. So this thing's like split open, while I'm sitting
the
here.
Scene at Scarface after Tony Montana runs out of the club.
Right, exactly.
The suit jacket on, yeah.
Whoever said you was a cop. So the guy leaves, and I'm like, oh, fuck. So, of course, you'll remember this. Some people won't. But in the old days, they had the gimmicks where, when you dried your hands, they were cloth.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that you pulled was like was a cloth thing, and they would actually reuse those, clean them and reuse those. So I had a little tiny knife, so I cut that thing and I tore it down. And I made strips, and I took my
Wrap it.
fucking shirt off, and I wrapped it up, and then took my sports coat and put it in the sink and just kind of, with cold water, washed it the best I could. And I mean, the blood's pouring out of this fucking sports coat. I dried that off with fucking, and I went in there, and I'm thinking to myself, like, I'm probably, like, I'm losing blood here. So I tell the old man, I said, hey, man, I'm fucking losing blood. He goes, can you give me another hour? I said, yeah. I said,
Will you be conscious in 60 minutes?
I guess. And, yeah, so.
There are very few industries, first of all, where you can return to the table at a banquet or a function and turn to your boss and say, yeah, my coat's saturated in blood. I had to cut some of the towel off and wrap a tourniquet around my arm. I washed it in the sink, but I'll be all right. And they go, all right, just hang out for another hour.
Seems like I've got it. Seems like I got it pretty fucking stopped. And then I go back to my hotel room and I just go to bed, and I wake up the next morning and it looks like fucking Godfather with horse
all over the
bed.
sheets, right?
Blood everywhere.
Frank Fitzler says, I'm not sure if he wasn't already injured from AEW, referring to Punk. First matches were Dark against Dom, then first TV spot injury. Drew playing on it, other wrestlers as well, and let's not forget, if he didn't show up in Chicago that night, the fan interest would have dwindled. I'm thinking they have him recovering and are getting some WWE growth hormones and vitamins like Hogan took, pumped through him so he can return like AJ and Orton. Possible that he's been hampered by an injury much longer than we were told?
I mean, not to be a dick, but I play one very well. Didn't look like when he came back that he was, as they would say in the Hogan era, hanging and banging, brother, in the old weight room. Looked like he was on pretty much a pear diet. So
could be the case, we're saying.
Yeah, hey, we're all workers, right?
NMLS number 65084, equal housing lender. Woo!
As an adult, don't we all miss spring break? Nothing like taking a week off from all your responsibilities. Well, here's the next best thing for adults, a spring break from house payments. SaveWithConrad.com can help you get rid of all your credit card debt, just like that. We're routinely helping our listeners save $5, $6, $7, even $800 a month. And you don't need perfect credit or money out of your pocket to do this, but check this out, no house payments for 2 months. It's SaveWithConrad.com.
Hollywood Higgins, Kev, I hope you know you have the best fans in the world. We'll always ride or die for you. Thanks for all you did for wrestling, brother. I hope one day to get to meet you.
Thanks, man.
Well, if you're in Philly for Wrestlemania, you can do that.
He'll be there.
He'll be there. Travmont, what is this nonsense? Why even ask that question? Bob Seger is one of the greatest American songwriters of all time, and Kid Rock is Kid Rock. I guess there was some. I guess we were covering the Detroit Boys, and Seger.
You know, they were saying the other day that
he's not from Detroit. Let me correct myself. I'm sorry. You said he's from
Romeo.
Taylor?
No, he's from Romeo.
Okay.
Taylor has a more cred than Romeo.
Joe C, 3'9" with a 10-foot dick.
No doubt. But so they had Taylor Swift, and then they had Kid Rock and Ted Nugent, and I'm thinking to myself, like, people don't remember because Ted Nugent went so far to the right. But man, like Ted Nugent and the Amboy Dukes back when I was a kid, man, like Ted Nugent was some shit, man.
He was a wild man.
He'll hit you with some stranglehold. I mean, I ain't gonna hate on him. Fucking man, And I sure as fuck ain't going on his property. That motherfucker, because that motherfucker, but it'd be like, fuck. So use the AR. Fuck that, man. I'll put this fucking arrow through his chest.
Yeah. Just for sport, he'll use something.
Gut me.
Yeah. P-Funk 420, listening to Big Kev's voice is like drinking a glass of red wine. To Kevin, that's a massive compliment.
I'm always stoned and drunk and high and everything on this show. I wish the fucking guy, like, I remember like when we hit 52, like episode 52, and I said to myself,
the first year, yeah.
Yeah, and I said, man, if you would have told me that Kevin Nash would do a podcast and this podcast would not have a sponsor that was a wine company, and I would drink their wine throughout this show,
Yeah.
Because, I mean, a bottle of wine in 2 hours, that's like perfect. Then I could drive home. I got a 1.5 mile, 2 mile drive back down to my crib. Ain't like I'm going to have a buzz in 2 hours with a couple glasses of wine.
We have to pursue this then, Kev. I told you, I got 30, Green sent me like 35 companies that.
Oh, let's look for wine.
We're going to go through and see what we want to do with who.
It's got to be like, but it can't be like,
You can't get some piss or swill that you're going to sit there and
no, because I won't drink it. I won't do it. I've got a buddy of mine right now that there's a company in Detroit that's putting out a whiskey, putting out a blend. And
that you're sponsoring, or
we're talking.
Okay, good. Talk to him about the Kliq This podcast.
Yeah,
but see, for the whiskey.
I wouldn't drink whiskey. This, I mean, I wouldn't drink whiskey at, what is it? 8. I wouldn't drink whiskey.
It's the end of the night for me. It's the morning for you, is what it is. I'll drink the whiskey. I'll have the
whiskey.
I've
actually I started my diet, and I got up this morning. I got up. My goal right now is because I've got to get 8 hours sleep, so I got to be in bed by 2. So, and then I'm up. I was up like 10:15 this morning. So, and I fucking fed the chickens and milked the cows and all that shit.
That's
all that shit that
you.
fucking people. I don't get it. Like, people always say, you sleep all day. Well, what the fuck? I watch TV and I go to the gym. I got a key to the gym. It's like, what does it matter?
Yeah, but Kevin, for years you were up at all hours on planes, and
I know that's why
the clock didn't even factor in. So right now you get to do whatever you want for the next 20 years. I'm down 22 pounds, by the way. Can you tell?
You're down 22?
Yes.
I am down 13. I'm down 13 pounds right now.
Okay. Yeah. Where'd you get circumcised? Joey Jarvis, any chance we can get more road stories like the snowy trips Big Sexy told us a few weeks ago? Hashtag
Did we ever?
Genesis.
I'll just tell you real quick when this is a snowy story. So we're staying at the Jetport, and they had these Mitsubishi Diamantes. They were pretty sweet. But they were only a 3-man car. You couldn't put 4 in it. And back then
what
it was
the
just
Diamante? Was it a sports car?
It's a Mitsubishi. It was a 4-door.
Right.
But it kind of looked like a 5 Series BMW. They were trying to. That's what they were trying to be, was a 5 Series BMW.
Okay.
And it just came to my mind, so I'll say it. So we get our Diamante, and we're all packed up and shit, and we're running late. And Luger, like, comes in from the gym, and his Diamante goes in, gets his bag and shit, and all of a sudden, like, it just, while he went in and while we were packing our bags, it just kind of white out snowed for a minute. And the wind started to blow up, and they hadn't really done a good job clearing the parking lot as you got towards 9 in Newark. And Lex takes off. And I mean, he hits fucking one of those cement things on the bottom of a light pole. Dead center, middle of the fucking hood, going about 30 miles an hour.
Oh my God.
I mean, just wham! He backed that motherfucker up. It was steaming. He walked in, handed him fucking the keys, walked down, put the keys to another one, switched his bags out, was gone.
Wow.
I was just like, good for you, baby. Put that Diners Club down. That was the gimmick back then. If you had the you always put the car on the Diners Club, because the Diners Club,
You earn points?
no, it covered the loss damage waiver.
Oh, so you had insurance through the card, not
Through
even
the
you didn't even
card.
have to get it through the rental company.
It was
Okay.
man, that's $17.99 over 23 days. Fucking was expensive, you know.
Right.
So, and then that one, the Diners Club had, like, you know, like if you were to, each person was covered, and so it was the fucking shit. I had a Diners Club, so I always rented the cars, and the guys would give me cash.
Mhm.
And we got paid so fucking rarely back then. At least I always had some fucking cheddar to bring home to mama to
Right.
pay the fucking bills, you know.
The in Taught Us God, we talked about Terry Funk. There was one of the young guys in the locker room was talking about a neck injury, and like, yeah, I don't really have the money to get this looked at. And, you know, Terry told him, like, you know, you can't fuck around with the spinal compression shit. He goes, just get do the rental car gimmick. And the kid says, well, what's that? He goes, you get the rental car, you pay the top insurance. It might cost you $50, but it's worth it. Then you drive off the lot, you run that son of a bitch into a stop sign, fall out the door, and hold your neck till the ambulance comes. It's covered.
Hey,
Hanging out
man,
with those veterans, boy.
gotta do what you gotta do. Absolutely.
Tim the Gem. I like Kevin's laid-back attitude and the fact that he doesn't give a shit about what the haters think. There are way too many pumped-up Joe Rogan wannabes out there. Cough. McAfee. Cough. He genuinely doesn't care what the CM Punk fanboys and the Trump suckers think of him or how badly they want to cancel him when they simultaneously sob about cancel culture being out of control. It's refreshing. Tim the Gem kind of gets it, Kev.
Yeah, I just, you know, after last week's show, I read some of the comments, and I said, well, that's gonna, wait and see how that fucking ages, Nash. I'm like, well, fuck, man, if you put that motherfucker in some French oak, it might age well. You never know. You know, like, fuck, man, like, I'm going to say what I want to say. I'm not trying to fucking, you know, not trying to be anybody's fucking pal or buddy.
This is your show, right? I mean, people want to know what's on your mind.
At the same time, it's like you and I, you got to fucking go to Sacramento tomorrow.
Yes.
You got shit you could be doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
I could probably be watching an NBA game. I'm just saying.
I could have my feet up on the fucking couch watching the Pacers.
But, no.
But you know what you could be doing also, which would be good for your household? You could open that Rocket Money app, Kevin. You could take a look at what has been recurring charges into your bank account and your credit cards, okay? Rocket Money. Listen, do you know how many subscriptions you have? I'm asking the world at large here. I bet you don't. I bet you couldn't tell me in 2 minutes the number of subscriptions you have without being off by at least 3 or 4. It's just the time we live in now, guys. Everything's a recurring charge, all right? And I guarantee you there's some stuff. Forget about duplicate charges, because that happens too. Someone in the house orders something, you order it, and 2 people are paying the television streaming subscription. But just stuff that you're being charged for that you don't want anymore, like the goddamn Broadway.com I had on my thing that I had to get rid of. Well, the way it works is Rocket Money takes that information, it sifts through it for you, and it shows you. It shows you what you're paying every month, and with the tap of a button, they cancel it for you. You're not getting on the phone. You're not dealing with customer service anywhere. They're handling it. It can be a tricky thing to try and figure this out by going through all your credit card statements and bank account statements. This is all in one place, okay? If you feel like money's flying out of your account, it might be, okay? And think about it. Listen, between streaming services, fitness apps, delivery services, parenting apps, it's endless. I'm guilty of this. This happens to me. I had to find stuff too. So I used Rocket Money. It helped me find out what subscriptions I was actually spending money on, and it was really eye-opening. And with a tap of a button, it was gone, okay? The average person saving, I saw a figure about this, $720 a year with Rocket Money. $500 million in canceled subscriptions to their credit. So just stop wasting money on things you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/Nash, N-A-S-H. That's rocketmoney.com/Nash. Don't forget to put that Nash in there. Let them know who sent you. And thank you, Rocket Money, for being part of the most exciting podcast in the world today.
I had ESPN try to slide back door on me one more time.
What do they have a pay service?
Yeah, because you have to get that ESPN2 or whatever to every time you get a fight, that ESPN Plus.
Oh, the Plus. Yeah, the Plus.
Yeah,
Yes.
It's like I watched the fight and I canceled it, and boom, next month it tried to sneak in there. I said, "Oh, no, you
got him.
don't."
You got him. Slam the door on him.
I'm thinking about coming up with maybe if Rocket could come up with something like they could also do maybe your mortgage and your car payment. Well, there's an idea, right?
I'm waiting for the Rocket.
Could you imagine that? I'm sorry, we're not paying that shit.
This is a recurring payment to this bank for your house.
Yeah, this fucking mortgage shits. This mortgage shits for the birds. I ain't paying this.
Does your wife need a car too? Come on, hit the button.
Jesus, come on. What is this shit?
I'm waiting for the Rocket to stop a lot of my recurring accounts from finishing their story in my bank account. Tim O'Mageer has written, as far as I'm concerned, Dwayne Johnson ruined his own image completely and single-handedly with the first 2 actions he did once there. Within 48 hours of being on the TKO board, he put himself into the main event title picture and said, F you to all the fans invested in Cody's story after not wrestling for almost 8 years himself and put his stump of a daughter as GM of NXT. Kevin, are you as offended as Tim O was?
It's almost like it's an angle.
Almost, right? You'd think that they're in some way going to benefit from this.
You would think that, I mean, and the fact that Cody just submitted, just gave it
up.
I mean, wins the Royal Rumble, boom. I don't want it. I need clarity what the story is now. Obviously, it's
to finish the story.
Obviously, he's got a few more matches with the poison spitter before he's
got to be completely blinded before he finishes his story.
Jesus, I mean, he got him. He got him Saturday night in Knoxville, and it caused the bull rope match on Raw, and lo and behold, he gets spit on in that one. It's just, I don't know.
He's taken more on his face than Christy Canyon in a short amount of time.
I'd love it if somehow this all worked out, and the main event was Cody versus Roman at WrestleMania, and right before they locked up, Roman spit red shit in his face and beat him 1, 2, 3.
And he took the back bump, finger poke of doom.
Yes.
Red mist of doom.
Red mist of doom.
Text Paul. We'll give it to him. No charge.
Yep. And the reason being that the head of the table knows how to do it much better.
Mm.
They showed a picture of, I saw it on the internet. It's was probably computer generated or whatever, but they showed like Roman, like when he won it, and then Roman now. He looked like Lincoln after the Civil War. You know, he's aging. He's been champion for so long.
Mm-hmm. It's like those, like the presidents at the end of the term where they're the gray has come in, and
I really like at this point, man. It's like if you put this much into it, you've got to keep it going.
Well, all right. Let's back up for a second. Rock. This is in the works for a long time. No one believes that any of this came up in the last few weeks. Okay, Rock's deal with the board, the $30 million, the match, all of it, it's in the works.
Oh, come on, Dwayne! You don't think Dwayne just shoots from the hip?
Oh, you think like he just thought of it last week?
Yeah.
Said, hey, listen, I got an idea. Yeah.
Yeah, he was taking a dump and he went, "Wait a minute. I'll do something where maybe I touch my arm and say, well, I got chills, and I'll come down and I'll take over the whole show."
So, with this in mind, Cody still wins the Rumble.
Yes.
And before January, whatever it was, this was locked.
But also, we have to. We're going to be throwing in some things here. This is before Punk is now injured, so what if there was an audible? What if Punk was going to go over in the Rumble and he said, "Hey man, I'm fucked up." When he said, "What do you mean you're fucked up?" He said, "Yeah, I had MRI 4 months ago before I signed, and I'm fucked up. I can't go. Toss me out." Oh, it's too much conspiracy theory. Never mind.
Yeah, are we gonna do the Zapruder? Are we gonna talk about the bullet on the gurney?
We have to. I mean, it's because everyone knows that when you read something, especially anything legal, when you read that, that's it, man. There's no other. That's the Warren. Like, how many times have you? Every time I read the Warren Commission, I'm just because.
Oh, every time you read it, time you read the Warren.
Every time I read the Warren Commission, I say to myself, "Man, this thing always ends the same way." You would think that Oliver Stone was like just nailed that shit, man. Maybe I'll just watch the film.
But without conspiracy theory, they're handing out Rocky sucks signs. Okay. This is confirmed. Sure, fans are bringing them, but WWE are handing it out, right? So this is unquestionably, despite the furious fans, despite the truly horrific threats to Dwayne's daughter, this is what wrestling promoters want. This is what it's designed to do.
This is Hogan coming down and dropping a leg on Macho Man. This is right
all
now.
The garbage you guys were pelted with sodas and popcorn and shit because the fans were furious.
And the
this
thing
is
is,
the reaction
on top
you work
of
hard
all
to
this, you have to realize that you can say that, "Oh, you really think that this happened 2 days ahead of time?" I promise you, fucking when we went to the ring, I wasn't sure Hogan was coming down. That's how close that thing was back and forth. So there's shit that goes down in this business, and you can keep shit real tight up at the top if you want to. And I look at it this way: people can say whatever they want to. I mean, I watched a couple of different podcasts, like wrestling podcasts, and people were like, I took off from work and I drove, and I'm fucking pissed off, and this is bullshit, and it's just like, if you've got people taking off from work because they want to go to the arena to see what the actual response is because they think it's being doctored on television. So they want to come. They think I'm going to go and get to the bottom of this, dude. I mean, you're taking a work that everybody knows is a work, and you've made it a shoot.
It's real to them.
It's absolutely real to them, and I mean to the point where, and I'm enthralled. I don't know where it's going. And
There's a press conference tomorrow. Let's just say
we were talking about this before the show. I could give two fucks about watching some work wrestling fucking press conference,
quote unquote press conference.
right? But
however,
I will definitely, if I don't watch it, I will definitely, by the end of an hour after it's finished, I'll know everything that's said about it, because I want to know where it's going.
Right. That's what this whole business is about.
Yes.
This is what it tries to do 52 weeks a year, every TV show, forever, is get the fans passionate and invested and believing something about it. Even if they know that everything's predetermined and all that, and, Rock doesn't really hate anybody and Roman's not really mad at anybody, but they don't know what's going to happen. And it was what Russo tried to do, writing television, went to great lengths to have people not know what the hell was going to happen next week. People are passionate again. They're angry again. Paul has a raging boner about this, no doubt, as does Rock. He knows the value of this, and hopefully all the guys there.
People forget how good of a fucking heel Rock was, and people also forget how quick in Toronto Rock made the adjustment on Hogan when the building made the adjustment with Hulk.
Oh, WrestleMania, yeah.
Yeah. It's just like,
that was huge.
Yeah, it's like, I'm sorry, man, and I think Roman's been a great champion. I think he's a star. He's somebody that I would go pay and see, but not as much as Dwayne. He'll never be. So
you
Dwayne.
think there's a payoff maybe for Cody?
Rock. I mean, number one, I think that they're going to want for Roman to be, of the modern generation, the longest champion. I think they want to erase the Hogan era.
The Hogan
era. I just think they do, and I think they want to start basically clean from that era. And Romans, I mean, if you ever are going to do that, you're about 200 days away from it right now. So this is as close as, the only thing that this company has done that I am absolutely 100% sure should have never happened was you never should have beat Undertaker at WrestleMania. That streak, there was no upside to ever doing anything with that, because every WrestleMania you have going forward, you had a 10-minute package about that streak, and you could have touched it. You could have where Mark is now. I mean, that was something that was special. There was no reason to ever, to beat Mark.
Mhm.
And it did nothing for Brock. Brock was if anybody was going to beat Taker, it should have been Bray in Dallas. I think that's where it was. Am I right, Steve? Is it in Dallas that they had that match?
So,
San Francisco.
having said that,
I'm talking about the one with Bray, not the one with Lesnar.
so how do you get Cody
Yes.
to Dwayne?
Well, number one, you've got to. I think that.
And have Roman keep the title.
Well, Roman's got to go over on Dwayne.
Does he become damaged goods for Cody now? Should it be Cody that pins Rock in this iteration of Rock's run in WWE? You're going to have him lose to Roman and then lose to Cody?
You're going to take the belt off. You're going to take the belt off of Roman and put it on.
No,
Dwayne?
that's what I'm saying. Now you're in a conundrum, because you want to, on one hand, you'd want to protect the reign, and then on the other hand, you want to get Cody to Rock, because that's obviously a higher profile. I mean,
depends on.
Dare I say there's more significance in Cody pinning the Rock?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
than
So you
Roman?
have to. You've got to go back and look at, because I don't think anybody has. So now I said, so the first thing I would have to do is I would have to go back and dissect Cody passing the baton to Rock. So I'd have to look at that and see where, because if they've left some breadcrumbs, you'll find them, and then to slowly, or we can just say seeds for the fact of, and then you go back and you water those seeds to where you basically, Cody does Rock a solid, Rock turns around and shoves it up Cody's ass. Now the only thing that's more important to you than being the world champion at that point is you being a man, and this person basically shitting in your face. So it's just like, now it becomes personal between Rock, which becomes bigger than the championship.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just a stepping stone of, he can still go after that record's beat. Who's to say he doesn't? How many days is SummerSlam away?
Well, that's what I was going to say. Where would it be? It would have to be August, right? It would have to be SummerSlam. It's your next big pay-per-view, so. Are they still on Peacock? Yeah, they're still on. This whole year, they're still on Peacock. The Netflix thing doesn't kick in until January 25, I think, right? So
you still guys. I mean, we made reference to the fact that, a couple episodes ago, how many can you have too many top guys?
right.
And it's just like, and we laughed, saying, and then all of a sudden it was like,
All the injuries.
yeah. But I think, again, now, am I the only one that noticed that Drew came down? He came down in between weeks. He came down in a black tank top and jeans. Then he came down in the the leather kilt with a leather coat, and then this Monday he came down again in like street clothes.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like so he's definitely being figured into the mix more.
Mm.
And I'll tell you one thing, man, of that fucking headbutt. The camera angle is great. Seth sold it great. Drew delivered it great. That headbutt that he gave Seth at the end of that segment was fucking spot on. I mean, it was the only thing missing was when he did it, I said, like, fuck, did he hardway him? I was like, oh, fuck. Man, if he would have got color right there. Because that would have taken that up just. And so, yeah, the Bash of Berlin is August. They ain't doing that. They're not gonna.
So it's wherever SummerSlam.
I don't know
would be,
though,
right?
man. Though, God, at the same time, fuck, do something overseas. Open up, I mean, you quit thinking. There's so many movie, like the movies were the first to do it. That were this, they would come out and they would say, we're going to do $400 million with this movie, and all of a sudden it was like, yeah, we can do 400 million, but we can do another 800 million in China, another, and then start thinking more and which this company definitely does, in a global financial status.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean that's where your growth is. I mean, because with Netflix, you become you're no longer on something that is restricted to the United States. You're on a global fucking network now.
And there is a push. We got was it Berlin, Germany in August, and then Steve, before that there's France, right? We're France on May 4th. I want to say May 4th. Let's see here. Yeah, so May 4th for Backlash. And are they touring? Are they in? So Birmingham in there. All right, so they're back to the States.
They're getting ready for the Olympics in the summer in France.
So yeah, no, you're right. The emphasis on international.
Yeah, I think that's. I mean, I think that's where your play
stream.
is.
It's another market.
You've got it. Yeah, you've got it. You've got to fuel that Netflix. That's your moneymaker now.
You think you'd ever come to a point where, and then Perth, Australia, February 24th. Ever come to a point where you'd have a team working in, you've got NXT, WWE, Raw, SmackDown. You ever think you'd have a European team working over there consistently, staying there?
And they had NXT. They had NXT UK. They had some branches. I remember,
but on a big scale, where they send some of the Raw guys to be over there.
I mean, what they've done, I know for a fact. I don't know for a fact because I haven't been really around the business end of WWE in a long time. But I remember when we started setting up offices, throughout the world, and putting warehouses. So we had rings, because that was the biggest thing, was always to have our rings.
Right.
And that was the huge thing, was to make sure that we, but they're saying that, London is technically, Steve just said London is technically still bidding for next year's WrestleMania. A lot of people think it's going to be Vegas.
Well, tomorrow maybe.
Yeah.
Press conference. There are
So,
rumblings, Kevin, that CM Punk may spend his time healing, which we speculated could be months, many months, on commentary. And I wondered to myself, is that too much?
it would be for me.
Punk.
It doesn't. You don't want to take a talent like that. That's special. I mean, I would just. Why not give him like a Piper's Pit? And where he just does a pipe bomb.
Right.
Like
Give him the 10 minutes.
every couple shows. Not. I mean, but he just Punk's pipe bomb. Boom. There we go. We're done.
Right.
And we
Yeah,
do.
putting him on color for the whole thing would be
No, fucking. He
the
doesn't.
3 hours.
You got to keep. You got to keep him.
the women's title match and then a 6-man, and then
I mean, he's going to call that 8-man fucking tag thing they had on fucking Monday.
did we ever have? I think all the guys, and I may be just thinking about the generation that I watched intensely. Anyone that went to color was not going to be in the ring except for a special here or there. Kind of when Jesse joined a 6-man tag.
Yeah, they were done.
They were done, right? But
yeah,
but they
you're
were
done.
valuable, so they put them on. But they weren't
Yeah.
expected to come back and work full time ever. So that's not a
No,
spot, I don't think.
I think that like Perfect, Perfect came back. Perfect was injured, and then he had that Lloyd's deal.
Right.
So, but then I think they paid off the Lloyd's or something happened, and then Perfect came back. He's the only one I know of that came back from like an injury type situation. But
was he doing color?
No.
I know he was doing like the primetime wrestling hosting.
he was doing I think he was doing pay-per-view color. I think he was doing pay-per-view color.
Yeah, but that little Piper's Pit type thing, that wouldn't be bad.
That's what I
Punk's
would.
pipe
That's
bomb.
where I would work. I would put Phil in that spot, and keep him special, because he could stir shit. He could be a conduit to stir shit all over the place.
Exactly.
I mean, that's
If he's just doing color, he's a spectator, and we don't want him to be a
I don't
spectator.
want-
If
I
he's
want-
going to be
I
a
want-
focus of the company.
I want him, especially as he gets closer to getting healthy. Man, he's got 3 or 4 people that just can't wait.
Get
for
him
this
involved.
prick.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, for this prick to get cleared so they can beat his fucking ass. There's your money. It's not that hard, man. All you gotta do, man, is take somebody that everybody loves. They come down and everybody fucking they bring back. All of a sudden, Dwayne started to come back a little bit more than any other guy of his status did. Like all of a sudden, it was just like, wow. I'd be watching like, wow, Dwayne's back again. And then all of a
throughout
sudden,
the years, you mean after?
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
all of a sudden, this last year, like Dwayne's, he started to come back more, and then you're just like,
Well, it's no secret there was some trouble at the box office in the Hollywood department.
Eh.
Still has a production company, still active, producing stuff.
no, he's not. He's. I think all he's doing on that is just a refocus. People dog that Black Adam movie to the saying it was the worst. I watched it. I mean, Jesus Christ! I mean, I'm sorry, but what's the difference? What's the difference
Between that and the other superhero films?
Aquaman and
Yeah.
It's all CGI. It's like Jesus. I mean, it's just it's not like I think that isn't he did the animated Disney film that he's gonna bring that character Moana.
In Moana, yeah.
Yeah, he's going to bring that character back, and they do it live. So you're going to see. I mean, I think that's going to be that'll be huge. Be singing, dancing, doing all that shit, and doing it. I mean, doing it for real. Very
There's something to look forward to.
Barbie-ish.
Yeah.
You know, something.
Kevin,
and that's
Dartmouth's NCAA basketball team is now the men's team. They're now regarded as employees, based on a ruling by the National Labor Relations Board regional director. So this opens a door to things that I always talk to my friends about and people about, with the massive amount of money that NCAA sports generates for the
finally
colleges.
we'll be able to get a Dartmouth basketball ticket.
Well,
Well,
Dartmouth opens the door, and Michigan follows.
That Ivy League powerhouse.
Yeah, but it's historic. It's historic because now it opens the door to unionization. And it's not going to be the only school that pursues this.
You know what?
Have
I
participation in sponsorships.
I look at it, man, and it's just like, fuck. Just pay the athletes. Like,
now they
just
can be.
I know. Just pay the athletes and let them lock in. Like whatever. Like lock in their 4 year or 5 or 6 years of education if they ever want to go back and use it. Have it locked in. Let the fucking quit fucking around, man, and making you go down to basketball, go down and get fucking whirlpool and hydraulic pads and get taped up and stretched and work out and run up and run through fucking stupid hoops. Like, 2 hours of study hall. Fuck, 2 hours of study hall. 2 hours of study hall after we fucking go. Everybody goes out in their car and hot boxes a fucking couple of fucking spliffs. Fuck that shit. Then I remember I was an art major, and I was basically, I came in late to practice, and they're like, "Where were you at?" I said, I was at a lab. What do you mean? I was in a sculpting lab. Fuck that shit.
That was the last time you ever had to go to sculpting lab. I bet.
You need to go talk to Colonel Molnar and get a syllabus. You need to find something. You can get a textbook and a syllabus and get a 2.0 Nash. You ain't here for an education. I said, I just wanted to hear you say it.
Just got a statistic here. Average salary of a college lab assistant in the United States is around $56,521 per year for a laboratory assistant 1, with a range typically falling between $47,000 and $67,000. So that's an average. So you can pay a med student $56,000 a year to be a lab assistant because they're investing time in research that the college would take credit for if it found a cure or something. But the athletes that are generating the massive money that comes from NCAA sports, and
unless you're at Dartmouth, then you're just another fucking
no, not
you're
at
just
Dartmouth yet,
another anchor dragging the fucking dragging the red down. I'm sure the Dartmouth football team might break even if they're selling fucking liquor at the games.
Women's archery is where the money's going to be at Dartmouth, but
lacrosse.
But could you not then pay the athletes that are generating this if a goddamn lab assistant can make that much? And let's keep opening the door.
I'm telling you right now, it's $67,000. If I can go get a job at a strip joint and play ball, I'd rather do that.
You wouldn't have time with all the travel and practice you had.
Yeah, it ain't that much travel.
So would this now continue on? Would this go for a, I don't know, let's say a music student who's in the classical orchestra there?
No,
They charge admission. Can they be paid for playing?
It depends
if
on
it draws a house.
Yeah, if it draws a house.
That's what I mean. They put on their spring concert, makes a couple of grand at the door. Can they participate in the profit?
Yeah, I'm sure they get fucking 6% of that spread amongst them. It's like everybody can get a
16.3%.
$1.80.
Kevin, I thought you'd be much more excited that the young men like you in Tennessee can now get wear a Nike swoosh.
I made more than $67,000 from the alumni at the University of Tennessee in 1977. So, and I didn't have to do dick. I always had
sold illicit substances, is what you did.
No, I sold my fucking season tickets to a fucking alumni guy.
Oh, did you? What did you get? Did students get an allotment?
Shit, yeah, man. We got four center court seats. We got football seats.
So that was a whole fucking racket you guys had. So you took those tickets which you were gifted, and you could turn around and sell them.
Turn around and it was the Big Orange Club, and you had your Big Orange brother, and you turned around and you sold your tickets to him. He had 4 on the floor.
Unbelievable, Baba.
Oh, you know, baby. Make the fucking money.
I make the money. The money don't make me.
Fuck the laboratory fucking jabroni. Fuck him. Who he ever beat, the motherfucker?
It is time for the tap out. Blue Chew, brought to you by Blue Chew. Our friends at Blue Chew are trusted.
We've already made the ruling that you cannot hit me with any Yoko Ono.
No, I've yet to do that.
You can't.
I can't guarantee that it won't happen.
That's got to be fucking. That's got to be.
You tap at the bell.
I guess that's its finger poke.
I can't imagine anyone asking what Blue Chew is, but for the few men out there that have no idea, it's a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra, but in chewable tablets and at a fraction of the cost. Guys, remember the days when you were always ready to go? That's what this is about. You could have that again. Take them anytime, day or night, so you can plan ahead, be ready whenever the opportunity arises. Process is simple. We want you to go to BlueChew.com. Consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you receive the prescription within days. The best part is it's all done online. No visits to a doctor's office, no awkward conversations, no waiting in line at the pharmacy. Okay, does it work? Just ask our listeners with their 3-minute orgasms. Blue Chew wants to help you have better sex. Discover your options at BlueChew.com. Just chew it and do it. And we have you covered, guys. We want you to try this for free. Can't do better than that. You're just going to use the promo code NASH at checkout, okay? Just pay $5 for shipping, and they will get you the tablets. BlueChew.com, promo code NASH to receive your first month free. Visit BlueChew.com for important details and some safety information. We thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the Tap Out. Kevin, I want to introduce you, if you're not already familiar, with the Stark County Treasury candidate, Phil Davison of Stark County in Minerva, Ohio. Now, I know
love Minerva.
As a fan of politics, you are always down for an inspiring speech from one of the great orators of our time. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Phil Davison announcing his candidacy.
Ladies and gentlemen of the Stark County Republican Party Executive Committee, good evening. And thank you not only for your attendance, but for allowing me the opportunity to speak. My name is Phil Davison, and I am seeking our party's nomination for the position of Stark County Treasurer on November 10th.
All right.
November
Fuck
2010.
off.
Excuse me.
You've had enough of Phil Davison?
Oh, Jesus.
It's as gripping for the full goddamn, what the hell is it? 5 minutes?
Yeah,
Holy
but
Moses.
it's not even watchable. The quality of the tape's brutal.
I think it's Steve's connection. I'll send you this to
can't.
watch. I'll send you this to watch at home
don't
later.
Don't worry about it.
No, you're good?
Yeah, I'm
you're good? You'd rather he gets a green mist at the end of the speech.
Anybody that would fucking show up in person in public with that fucking hairdo, Jesus.
At least he's not wearing a maroon jacket, gray pants, and sneakers. Florida man and Jersey guy.
Tony's bringing that shit back, man. He's bringing sexy back.
If anyone can. And David Crockett's busy. It's Tony.
How old is Tony now?
Oh, I won't speculate.
Is he my age?
Yeah, sure. I'd put him there.
Tony's got to be 65, right?
Could put him there. He's older than me. I was a youngin' watching Tony.
He's 66. Steve just hit us with.
Okay, there you go.
I tell you, I got a chilling phone call this past week. Where
from
the Medicare's the one you have to file with Medicare before you're 65. Like it's like a rule, and it's like you like man, just like I still think I'm 15 in my head, and man,
I know
people are telling you like, hey, Medicare, like Medicare, like fuck, I got my private insurance. Oh no, your private insurance will be your secondary. I'm like, if you think I'm going to some fucking whacked out fucking doctor that's got 300 old people in a fucking room, and that's my first choice, that ain't fucking happening. I said, I'll pay cash. Like, fuck that. So.
See, this is the equivalent of my getting that AARP card.
We haven't talked politics. We haven't talked politics the entire night. And, but we've done some research, and the most disliked segments that we do are always when we talk politics. And I'll be goddamned if I don't piss somebody off tonight.
Yeah, I was going to say, you have to spray somebody with some shrapnel.
Yeah,
right?
Somebody's got to get. So I just want to go on record, and I'm just going to. I've got two things I want to touch base on. The first thing is, why would every single Republican House of Representative member vote for Medicaid and Medicare not to be able to shop for the lowest prices possible?
Well, we know the answer to this, obviously.
Well, yeah, because they're all in
it's the drug lobby.
Big pharma. Absolutely.
Sure. That's where the power is in Washington, is in the lobby, in the money.
Yeah. So I mean, so when you think that you're, they're for the middleman, the middle class, and these two fucking ivory tower white boys that you're looking at on your screen right now that ain't done shit, and just, I mean, I woke up with a damn gold spoon in my mouth. But that's number one. Number two is, I think personally, and this is no bullshit, I think personally the biggest problem we have as a country right now is our borders and immigration. And I think it's 8 million people in the last 3 years have come in this country illegally.
We read a statistic a few weeks ago.
It's something staggering. And if you think
hundreds of thousands a month,
if you don't think that's going to lead to terror attacks, just, I mean, it's so anyway.
I know it's going to. You know how I know? because the Republicans have been telling me this for 3 years. What happened today?
Well, they decided that that Biden decided that he would give them the money that they like, basically cross the aisle, doing this whole partisan deal, and they said, nah, we don't want to do that. We don't want to shut the borders down now. So
I don't want to hear
know.
another goddamn thing about governors busing anybody to sanctuary states. Don't give me any more bullshit about fentanyl coming into this country. Here it was, the bipartisan opportunity it came with some funding for Ukraine, and that's what they'll blame it on, but they really just want to be able to point to this as their election season approaches, to be able to point to this and continue to lay blame at Biden's feet. Now, Biden had to take a big bite of crow and say, yeah, it's out of control. Had my finger off the button for a while here with this. We're gonna have to fund something.
He fucking more than he shit the bed. I mean, Biden shit the bed on the whole immigration thing.
But there was border funding in that previous bill, the infrastructure bill. There was a ton of money for new border agents.
But there was also,
but it wasn't enough.
There was the whole 95,000 IRS agents when we yeah. I'm more worried about a terrorist cell than I am somebody fucking taking too much
too much of my money.
Yeah, like fuck, man, come on. But so we really got to we've got to get on this fucking border situation. I mean, fuck, uncle.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, and by the time that shit goes down, and my whole thing is, I live down in Florida, on the peninsula. I'm not by the border. It probably won't affect me immediately. I'll be in my bunker by then, but there's a lot of people down there, man, and that's like this whole Texas is gonna succeed from
the seceding from the. Well, first of all, you can't. It's illegal. They can't.
Well, number two, that I guess that the fucking Abbott doesn't realize that there's 15 fucking U.S. military bases in the state of Texas
that are moving out if you're no longer part of the United States.
Yeah, because
so defend yourself.
And you've got Fort Hood and Fort Bliss, and I think Fort Hood is like artillery, and it's like, I promise you, and all that armor and all that shit that the National Guard has, that's Department of Defense equipment. That's not state of Texas equipment. So we'll be taking all that, and when they make Texas a no-fly zone, which will suck because I really dig San Antonio, I dig Austin, I like Dallas, I like Houston. I even like to go and get me a little Tex-Mex up in San Angelo and Midland. I mean, it's like, I got some buddies up in Ardmore. It's like, really kind of like to keep in touch with my buddies around the states, but
well, you could use your passport and cross into Texas and visit your friends, maybe, no?
I don't know. I mean, once they put that I mean,
it'd be like East Germany.
No, but I guess
build the wall.
It'll be like our border. So fucking there'll be no problem getting in, right?
Oh, that's true. They'll be flooding right over. That's true. Louisiana's going to be a mess.
Exactly. You'll have fucking Mississippi and Louisiana fucking flooding into fucking Houston.
Be pretty interesting with everyone in Texas loses Medicare and Medicaid too. That's a United States government benefit.
Yeah. Wow.
Be interesting
They
to
can,
watch.
I'll give up mine.
So fun to watch. Hey,
How about
speaking of
what's-
states, go ahead.
Anything else? Anything else happen in the news? Anything like maybe 3 judges determining that the Department of
Well,
Justice
the president is
had-
no longer. Well, we had one president that thought they were
above the law.
yes, immune from any prosecution for crimes that
Right.
might have been committed.
Obviously, he got
While
that from
president.
that sweet Steven Seagal movie,
Which one would that be?
Above the Law.
Above the Law. Yes.
This first one.
Have
when you
to
first
brush
got
up.
to see Steven Seagal run.
An
you
interesting
know-
style with the hands.
Yes.
Right? A little bit of a little bit.
Almost like he was like a fucking guy at Benihana's making the fucking right before they do the fucking onion volcano.
The across the three judges, right? A George Bush appointee, I think 2 Biden appointees, but they all agreed that you cannot break the law and become a wild, insane despot president and not pay for it when you have office. Some would call it common sense. I know someone who didn't.
I just, you know what? But at the same token, this fucking bullshit where they think they're gonna pull Trump off the fucking in Colorado, that just because
The ballot.
yeah, like we're gonna pull him off the ballot because we said so. Like you can't do that either, and we shouldn't have to get the Supreme Court to determine that a person that hasn't been accused of a crime cannot fucking be accused of a crime because they feel like it.
Well, but
Like
with the problem that they're running into is the 14th Amendment says that anyone who is a seditionist
But he hasn't
cannot
been.
run
He hasn't been
for
charged with that.
an office. An officer of the government. He's saying, well, an officer's not the president, and they're arguing otherwise. I
he's-
don't
but
think any of
also-
this is going to happen. I think this is a big waste of time.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
bullshit.
think it's going to go anywhere.
I don't think anything is going to fuck. By the time our fucking legal system goes after Donald Trump, he'll be fucking pardoning himself with that fucking, and he's got a sweet fucking signature. He'll be pardoning himself with that signature.
Looks a little like a heart monitor.
I like it. I dig it.
Gone wild.
Looks like I'm gonna get him on the circuit when he gets done. I'm gonna be his fitterman.
Kevin, how about a little Florida guy, Florida man, Jersey guy? Your
I'll give it a shot.
your record's impeccable. I can't remember the last loss, but for anyone who doesn't know, I'm gonna
that just ensured this to be the one.
this one. Yeah, but I'm hoping.
Yeah.
I try everything, so now it's just going to be the total laws of opposites.
And we didn't call and dress in Wolfpack colors tonight on purpose.
Well, I kind of thought it was. I was looking. It was kind of the Kliq This colors a little bit, but yeah, you're right. It is Wolfpack.
Both.
It's Versace. So 2 headlines.
Hey man, I got on fucking
My lanterns.
I got on fucking Patriot Crew. It's fucking some kind of Hannity shit right here, motherfucker.
Freedom.
Yeah.
Freedom to marry who you want, love who you want.
Fucking
Black
Black Bullet, whatever that fucking what's the coffee that Hannity sells? Black Bullet coffee. or
yeah, that Armor coffee or whatever.
some
Yeah.
kind of coffee.
If you get that whiskey,
I used to
Deal.
listen to fucking. I used to listen to Hannity and
when I was in college, I listened to Rush Limbaugh. I found him
Did you?
entertaining.
Hannity's completely different on the radio. Excuse me. Look, I ate a
But,
burrito today for lunch. It's fucking killing me.
So, all right, so let's go. 2 headlines. One a real Jersey guy, one a real Florida man, and Kevin will be able to decipher which is which. The first headline, man arrested after attacking woman with brick on Christmas morning. Second headline, man bludgeons father to death after learning he got the vaccine. First one,
Second
man
was
arrested.
Florida.
That's correct, which would make the first one Jersey. Yeah. It was an interesting concept.
Double bludgeon.
The father got the yes. It was a theme week. In no way do we condone the bludgeoning, but the man bludgeoned his father after learning he got the vaccine because he was obviously anti-vaccine because he thought it would be harmful. So he killed him. My mind isn't able to. The synapses are fighting with each other in that logic. Let's go to Jersey first here, and it's South Jersey.
That's why that's how you did. That's how I got it so quickly. See, if your synapses in your brain can't like any way, form, or function,
it's Florida.
It's Florida. I mean, there was a bill passed today where they're trying to get Stuckey's back open at every stop in Florida. So
I've been to Buc-ee's. You been to Buc-ee's? That big ass Buc-ee's down on LPGA Drive?
No, I haven't.
It's an experience.
I know of it. I know of it. Yeah,
you should go in.
Yeah, that's that. I'll go there right after I go to the Daytona 500.
How many places can you stop for gas, a pulled pork sandwich, spurs for your boots, have something?
What, in Florida?
Bucky Bites? Yeah, I guess you can.
Shit.
It's a shock to me, but I guess not to everybody
no.
down there.
Fuck down there.
Well, Justin Lopez of the Landisville section of Buena Borough in Atlantic County was charged with aggravated assault, strangulation, and unlawful possession of a weapon after attacking a woman that he knew with a brick on Christmas morning. Woman was bleeding from her head and disoriented when officers arrived. And in Florida, there's a gentleman in Florida. I have a feeling they always tend to look exactly like I think they'd look, and he does. This is Wellington, Florida. I'm not really sure where that is, but
nobody's clean shaved down here. You'll never see like a crazy fucker that's clean shaved.
Right, he's not either. He's accused of brutally beating and killing his father after learning his dad got the vaccine. The 911 caller, who is a friend of the family,
not beaten, but brutally beaten.
Brutally, right. You would think any beating. There he is. A family friend called and described the suspect, Bryan McGann Jr., as a delusional conspiracy theorist. No kidding. All right, it's hashtag AskNash. He'll tell you his deepest, darkest secrets. You just have to ask, and you do that by writing hashtag Nash on the socials, and we'll find it, like Rocky Monroe did. He said, what do you think about the situation with Texas and the possibility of another civil war? He read our minds, and we kind of covered that already. So I'm going to move on to... I don't think civil war would be an option if they seceded, because we've just built that fence, and that'd be the end of them.
Yeah.
Blake, saw you mention a few episodes back how you and the missus found a game-changing pillow after spending money for years on bad ones. Oh, this is me, I guess. Do you know its name? I'm in a similar boat, neck injuries, wide shoulders. It's called the Cube. The Cube. They have like a perfectly square one, and then they have an elongated cube, which I use. My cube is elongated, Kevin. And, yeah, there it is. And I find, for me, from my size, I don't know how big you are, Blake, but it is the perfect spine alignment for me, that height. You can, I believe there's a choice of widths, like I don't know, like 4-inch or 6-inch height. So check out the Cube. It's that first.
Do you measure that from the crack of your ass, or how's
you
that
go right? Yeah, it depends. You're going to get a few extra inches. You go right from the crack.
Good. Okay.
Right, from taint to tip.
Nice.
Keto O'Rourke When you go to the gym, do you warm up at all or just go straight to the weights? This is obviously for you.
Yeah, I do some band work, depending on what. Like today, I did legs, so I just stretched my IT bands. I got on the floor on one of those roller. My IT bands get tight when I train legs, so I kind of try to.
Can you just fill in the layperson bands? When you say, is it a band you're using? Are you playing some Skinner?
We'll say like no, like you know, like it's like a circular band, and I put my hands in it, and then I push it out like that,
okay.
and then I put it up, and then I do different shit for my. It's just to get my rotator. Like when I press, my rotator cuffs are fucking rotten, so it takes me a while to.
So just that. Do you do any stretching of like your hamstrings or?
I mean, it's like today was legs. So, but I usually get up and stretch. Like I stretch, like before I go to the gym. So, I found a
At
fucking.
home. You do
I
at
found
home?
it. Yeah, I found a rotten fucking. I just don't know. This just made me think of it. Fucking back, driver's side door, Willwell. Fucking just somebody beat the shit out of my car. Just oh fuck, dented my shit. I mean, it's just like, ugh. I just absolutely fucking hate. That's when you go to the gym and these fucking people just smash their shit,
Just throwing the door open like that.
Yeah, it's fucking assholes. Which has a lot to do with warming up.
I remember one time pulling into I guess you were in my car. I guess I had a Mercedes at the time, and you were like, no, pull over there. There's another Mercedes. I was like, what? So it would look good in a picture? And you go, they're not going to hit your door. I was like, oh, okay.
That's right. Fucking somebody.
Very good.
Somebody driving a fucking Bentley's not going to smash into your bins.
What do we got in the audience? I'm sure there's questions.
It's a guy that bought the fucking Diamante that Lex smashed. They never claimed the accident. That's the one that you got to watch out for.
Josh Henney, what are your thoughts when Tony Khan announces an overrun before the show starts? It seems like you want people to enjoy the surprise overrun.
No, I think he's just warning you to make sure you're heavily drugged.
It's because there's going to be an extra 5 minutes. You're going to need to take that extra gummy.
Exactly. Thanks, dog.
Jen, red is your color. Someone was telling me my face was getting red. I stopped taking blood pressure medicine the other day. Someone said my face was red and blotchy. So I'm assuming you're referring to the shirt, but maybe.
Why'd you stop taking your blood pressure meds?
I felt I didn't need it. I didn't need it. So when my doctor put me on it, it was like border. It was like 80 over. It was like 30 over 85, which was borderline. And so I was taking it, and I went to get a stress test for my heart at the cardiologist like a year ago when I first started trying to take care of myself. And they take your blood pressure before you start on the treadmill.
Uh-huh.
And it was 90 over 60. He's like, "Hey, you feeling?" I'm like, "I'm fine." He's like, "You dizzy? You tired or anything?" I said, "No, not really." He's like, "All right." So the doctor came out. I was like, "You think I could stop the blood pressure meds? I'm 90 over 60. They gave me some time, gave me some water. It was summer. He thought maybe I was dehydrated. And I got up a little more normal. But then I was there again last week, and they took the blood pressure. It was perfect. I said, fuck it. I'm not doing this shit. I don't need this. Jen. So, Kev Shauna, I'm getting my job of 27 years abolished in a few weeks. Oh, brother. What's the diplomatic way to tell the office bitch, fuck you, when I'm done? Could climb on her desk and drop a deuce. Well, she's not
Yeah.
broken.
Or you can buy her an electric toothbrush and put it up your ass and then wrap it. And then that way
Put it
she'll
back.
actually go home and say, oh, that was nice of her. And she'll plug it in and do the whole deal. And I can brush your teeth with it.
Yeah, that's a good one. I don't know, Jen. You got to think of it. Is there ever a chance you'd go back there? So, because you don't want to burn a bridge necessarily, but
Or I think one of a classier move is the
Mhm.
ice pick in 2 of the wheels. So there's
the car in the wheels of the car. I thought you were going to say in the back of the head.
No, in the wheels in the sidewall.
Mm-hmm.
It's a slow leak. Yeah, you'll be able to get out of there, and then they won't be able to. Yeah, they can only deal with one tire. They fix a flat, they'll do one, and then that front one will go on, and it'll fucking be a shitty day.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, Jen,
That's
let us know what
kind of
happens.
I mean,
if you
that's
decide
kind
to
of
do
a
something.
that's kind of a fuck you, right?
That's a big fuck you.
Okay.
Let us know what you decide to go with and what happens. Give me another one from the house.
Punch her in the
Both of
gut. That's always a good one.
And then that opens you up to liability there with assault.
Oh.
James Bedford, did you see the Super Bowl suite going for $2.5 million? What would you need inside that suite to make it worth the money, Kevin?
3.6.
Brilliant. Unbelievable.
Fuck.
Don't even touch it. Leave it there. Great answer. Trent Fredrickson, was you tapping to Sid's crossface so quick, 2 seconds, in a world title bout, a planned spot? Were you injured in it? It seemed to be sold a little too well. Sid's crossface became kind of a meme. This was on January 26, 2000. Make an episode on it, will you? Were you
I don't
hard
recall
weight or
it.
something, or no?
I don't recall it.
How was Sid in the ring in general?
He was fine.
Dangerous? There's the... It doesn't look particularly damaging, unless you were hurt already. Could have been the case. Is he
Just
careless? You sometimes hear careless, right? You sometimes hear careless.
Oh, he was.
Yeah.
I think he power bombed enhancement guys and stuck them, but
Well, there was that cage move too, where he bounced somebody. Came down on the neck. Pillman, right? That was a bad one. Mark Capps watched Survivor Series 94 recently and wondered what memories you might have of the Freeman Coliseum in San Antonio. You did just mention San Antonio.
I always liked that arena. It was hot as fuck. But that's the one. The Freeman has the architect that did the Freeman. There's a matching arena in Shreveport, and there's a matching arena in Little Rock. They all look the exact same fucking arenas.
What makes a good arena? Are you thinking crowd when you say, yeah, that was a good building? Are you thinking like amenities, backstage, big dressing room?
To me, like all the arenas now are most of them are just either NBA or NHL, arenas.
Mm-hmm.
So they're all carbon copies. If you don't even know where the fuck you are,
Right.
Besides the fact of but some of the old buildings like the Cincinnati Gardens, Louisville Garden, the Lowell Civic, the Kansas City Memorial, like there's some of those, the Kiel, some of those buildings were just, they just had that, felt like, everybody should have a cigarette and it should be lit over the top and, 1930 fucking
The
prize
Smoky
fight.
Arena, yeah.
A prize fight going on. like boxing, like back when they used to have those 3-ways.
Oh yeah, like you have in
The old-
wrestling,
the
the
old-
3-way match.
Yeah, the old 3-way boxing matches that they used to always have. I've always, it's just, I don't know why, like, professional wrestling has kept that tradition on and had, a 3-way dance. But mixed martial arts and boxing just never really, it just didn't stick.
Well, Kev, you made a New Year's resolution to spend a little bit of your money this year. I think we start a boxing federation. That when that bell rings, it's 3 guys coming out of 3 corners.
The 3-man. Has anybody seen the
Swinging
shape
wildly.
that Tyson Fury is in right now?
No.
Steve, can you find a recent shot of Tyson Fury? He's probably lost. No, I mean he looks great.
Well, we look for that.
Yeah, well, we look for that, and 2 guys for him to fight against.
Bring up. I'll do play-by-play, and CM Punk can do color. So he's going to be doing.
I'll get color
commentary. Hard way. From Sid in a crossface.
Sid. Okay. Pretty good, huh?
Yeah, he went from Eric Sims to prize fighter.
I would not. He's going to destroy somebody. His skill level is amazing. Excuse me, I just had another burrito.
A little bit of the burrito. All right, let's wrap it up with some audience questions.
Wes isn't here to fix this audio. So
what of your burps?
Of my burps.
We should actually level them up a little bit. We can add it to drop it into the theme song. Anyone in the house want to wrap us up? If you want to be part of the audience, you go to KliqThisTV.com, just like Britt, as a veteran. Any advice on dating military men? I got a 33 Navy SEAL that just returned in my life after 4 years, and he doesn't know how to court me. I have to keep telling him what to do. This isn't a good sign, Britt. It's been a month. Do I give him a chance or let it go? Is he worth it? I mean,
I really haven't dated a lot of military men myself, so I mean, I don't know how much I'm going to be able to help you out here. I don't know, maybe fucking take him out back, put the hose on him, and have him hold a log and hold his feet up. I don't know if that's something that the SEALs do.
Britt, bring him to WrestleCon. We'll sit him down with Kevin. Have a little talk.
He doesn't know how to.
Are you sure he's interested? Is his reticence an indication that maybe he just wants friendship? Is he PTSD'd out from the military? Is he? What's the deal? He's kind of worth it. He said he's willing to do whatever it takes to fix everything he fucked from the past. He wants to marry me and have a family. Well, listen, then he's got... Listen, it sounds like he's... I mean, that's some courtship right there. He's laying it all on the line. Was he not being physical? That's what he says, but he also hasn't dated in a while. I think it's PTSD from military too, see? Well, I guess you got to find you got to let him know that's that you're a safe zone.
Yeah,
you won't be judgmental.
Maybe go see somebody that's... If he'll never go to fucking counseling on his own or any kind of help, but if you go with him and show him that, like maybe be the bridge to, because if he's got any kind of post-traumatic stress, then it's just you've got to get through whatever that is.
You're not coming into the bedroom in like fatigues yelling in Arabic, are you, or anything, because that's going to send him right back.
Yeah.
If you think that's hot, I don't think he does.
Yeah, I think that whole fake suicide vest thing's just that's played out.
Let's start with lace. All right, start with lace and see where it goes from there. Oh, anyone else? Let's see, David.
Lace with a burqa.
See, a little hijab action. David Van Boeglen, I can't even sit upright at my PC for this tonight. So glad we got tech to do this on our phones. Yeah, that's right. You had your neck done, right? And now Josh, too. He had the David had the neck. Josh has the knees. Knees doing well. No cane or walker. Still very sore and pain, but I move way better. That's like Kevin said. If you drop the cane, you'll be more mobile because you won't be favoring the knee.
Yeah. You'll start to, and then your pelvis will straighten out.
Yeah. Straighten your pelvis out. That goes for you too, Britt. Straighten your pelvis out and see what that does.
Have you seen?
David says, have you seen PJ Just Incredible's leg? He went on X and posted that he's in bad shape. Have you spoken to him at all? If so, how's he doing? I didn't know he had.
I haven't.
Last time I saw him, he didn't have a leg thing, so I don't know.
I read somewhere or saw somewhere that Marty Jannetty has to get his leg amputated.
I thought they fixed the ankle.
That's not. I saw that.
Oh.
Something said where he had to get his leg amputated.
Oh. When we did our Breaking Kayfabe, he showed it. He stood on the table between us to show the injury, and I'd hoped that someone would have reached out with some help, maybe from the office up there in Connecticut. I know they offer.
Well, I mean, that's one of those things where the GoFundMe, I think he's enough guys to chip in.
Yeah. Well, we help them all. Advice for the lovelorn, the infirmed. Kliq This is a production of Butch and Sundance Media, produced in association with Podcast Heat, created by Tristan Nash, Kevin Nash, Sean Oliver, producer Steve Kaufman, graphics by Dominic D'Angelo, title sequence and audio edit by Wesley Burleson, theme song by Dale Oliver, technical research by Tristan Nash, copyright 2024, Butch and Sundance Media. Kev, you want to go to Stonewood Grill?
No.
Customer service never answers the thing. Let us free to breathe in air we're supposed to breathe. Through twists and turns you've come to love. Never answers a thing. Yeah, the customer service never answers.